It's a great day in the city for man's best friend. People gather to celebrate the rich history of Lawndale. Young people are making beautiful music, and Environmental Charter High School gets a little greener. These stories and more are coming your way as Lawndale Living begins right now. Hello and welcome to Lawndale Living, the show that features everything Lawndale. I'm your host, Anita Callett-Berry. It's getting close to that time of year again. That's right, the Lawndale Youth Day Parade is coming this April the 28th, and once again there'll be plenty of pirates on hand to shiver your timbers. There'll be lots of marching bands, drill teams, classic cars, sports teams, and community groups all ready for a wonderful day in the sun. The parade starts at 10 a.m., so be sure to get there early so that you get a great place along the route. If you'd like to find out more about the parade, you can call the Community Services Department at area code 310-973-3270 or go to the city's website at www.lawndalecity.org. You might have read or heard about a group that is really making a name for itself. The Lawndale Library is home to a group of young students who are learning to make beautiful music together.
We are just a group of local residents and local families that are banding together to create a musical space for our children.
That it's not every day that you get a chance to play it. So when you do have a chance, you gotta have the opportunity, and you gotta be what you want to be.
Children can come without knowing anything and learn the basics.
I've seen a lot of people playing the violin, and it looked like a really fun instrument to play.
It's a difficult process to learn an instrument like the violin.
It's a challenge that you have to figure out the notes.
When we first started, I was taking the violin lesson with her, and I could feel almost like a muscular soreness in part of my brain that had never, ever been used.
I practice every day almost for usually half an hour.
It takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of effort and discipline and time, and then in the end you get to play beautiful music, which resonates with everybody.
It's enlightened us in a lot of ways. We're so grateful to have a program like this, and it's come to our city.
For me as a parent, it instills confidence in the children. It gives them self-worth. They really do feel good about themselves.
We're learning a lot because this type of program is not that common. We're trying to replicate or follow the guidelines of a very successful after-school program that started in Venezuela about 35 years ago, and with the specific purpose of bringing music to the most underserved children. And when that environment takes root, then very positive things start to happen.
For some odd reason, I don't know what it does, it enhances their ability to I don't know, maybe learn, because my kid's doing a whole lot better in school.
So it's a way that they learn discipline, and I find that discipline that they learn in studying an instrument like violin applies to schoolwork, and it applies to how they are at school. And they get better math grades, better English grades, because they're studying at home the same way they've learned that they have to study in violin to be better.
Children are very impressed by older children, and children in general are impressed by adults. And so as children see other children achieve, then that in itself becomes a motivation within that circle.
And she looks forward every week to this group of friends, and it's like a team sport.
The girls have grown so much with this program, I feel, and they've taken it to another level, and just every day to kind of come home with smiles on their faces, and they're eager to practice day in, day out. That, puts a lot of smiles and brings a lot of happiness to our household.
I think the violin, people say it's the closest thing to a human voice, which is interesting, without being the human voice. In a way, it sits close to your body and your neck, and it's a very expressive instrument, and it's also an instrument you can start at a young age. You rarely see 5-year-old trombone players or tuba players or string bass players even, because the instruments are more awkward and difficult to play. But a young person can really hold and love a violin, and a violin can speak almost more like a human voice than anything else at times.
We really love music. My kids really love music, and they just enjoy playing an instrument, and we just love playing violin really right now.
Because I've seen it on TV and I like the way it sounds.
Only reason I do what I do, of course, there's not a lot of money in playing music or teaching, and it's the excitement of seeing a child understand and the light bulb going off, as we talked about, and the excitement in their eyes to hear that they're creating the music.
It's been a real challenge to organize and to shape, to give form to the organization. And with the limited resources that we have, well, it's going to take some time, but we're getting there.
To find out how you can catch a live performance of the Lawndale Youth String Ensemble, just give the Lawndale Library a call at area code 310-676-0177. Playing violin and advancing music in the arts are worthy goals that we find our youth embracing every day, just like they embrace the challenges of the future. Environmental Charter High School is embracing the future of green technology by working with businesses to educate and find solutions to creating sustainable environments, much like their newly constructed sustainable solar-powered greenhouse. Our Lawndale Living camera crew was there to capture the grand opening of this new living textbook.
Today was the ribbon cutting for our greenhouse, which we recently had funded. And our greenhouse is another example on our campus of how we use sustainability to teach students.
It's a completely closed system. It uses solar energy. It's completely off the grid. So it's got inside of it, it's got a number of innovations. The air is controlled, the temperature is controlled. So it's really a great learning tool. It's a laboratory. And it's a completely self-contained, sustainable system that kids can learn about from a whole bunch of different perspectives.
We also have an aquaculture system, which is another closed system or a closed loop. And what we're doing is we're growing fish in here, tilapia, that can be eaten. Those tilapia are creating ammonia and nitrogen or nitrates from their waste. And that nitrate is being converted into nitrogen by the plants up here. And so the plants are benefiting from the nitrates and the ammonia that's coming from the fish. And basically, the plants are filtering the water to keep those nitrate levels at a certain safe level for the fish. And so that's really what we're doing with this greenhouse. It's a model to teach systems thinking.
I think it's critical, especially where we are in California, trying to lead the nation in renewable energy, green energy, and have an environmental charter school with its focus there. We really believe this is the future.
And they're not just teaching you like academics, they're actually like preparing you for life, and they're teaching you about this like environmental lifestyle that can actually be implemented into your own life, and it changes your quality of life completely.
I say it over and over, partnerships are one of our best practices. Without them, we wouldn't be where we are. They not only contribute financial resources, but they contribute the expertise that we wouldn't otherwise know how to do. We're a school. We don't know about solar or how it works. So if it wasn't for partners, we couldn't make these things happen, because they provide our teachers with training on how to make it work. And then they provide us with the funding to install those systems on our campus. And it all comes together that way.
You know, the budget's been cut 6-7 years in a row now. We get less funding per student. The only way we can close the gap is by partnering with foundations, corporations, individuals who support our mission and cause.
Because without Pacific Coast Termite support, the expansion of the work that's been done here wouldn't be possible.
So we use everyday ad spends from corporations, in this case Pacific Coast Termite. We use their ad spend on CBS assets, television and radio, to help gap finance this project here today.
I mean, being able to take money that we spend, we're going to spend anyway, and take a portion of that to help fund a project like this, the greenhouse behind me, it's just a phenomenal thing.
We contributed the solar panels completely. We pre-treated this whole building with our products, which are all green products.
This is a very unique project because it's another way that we bring our campus alive for our students.
I believe that you can learn more in a greenhouse since you're actually doing the activity with your hands on, not with a pencil and paper.
At Environmental Charter, we're very intentional about making sure that there's experiential learning happening so that students are taking what they learn in the classroom and actually doing it, seeing it, and changing it.
Because not only was I learning about the environment, but I was learning college preparatory things that were going to help prepare me for the future.
These kids are going to be our next workforce, they're going to be our next property owners, our next co-workers, could be our next managers. You know, one of these guys have the next Google or Facebook idea in their head that, you know, it's going to change the landscape of what California looks like in the future.
If you'd like to find out more about Environmental Charter High School and the new solar-powered greenhouse, you can visit the school online at www.echsonline.org. And in looking toward the future, we must also remember our past. The Lawndale Historical Society recently held its Founders Day event at the new Lawndale Community Center, which also featured Lusinger Memorabilia Day. Our Lawndale Living camera crew was there to help celebrate the rich history of Lawndale and Lusinger High School.
For the last 14 years, we've had a Lusinger Memorabilia Day at Lusinger High School, and so this is the first year that we really aren't, having one. So this sort of, in some way, takes the place of it.
We just accidentally realized they were having a historical day today with exhibitions, and so we were happy to stay for that.
Well, I'm really surprised and pleased that there's so many people here. I didn't expect this many people to be here, and it's really good because it promotes the history of Lawndale, and the more people that comes in, the more it spreads the word.
It's really nice because I'm running into some people I haven't seen for quite a while.
I brought my senior sweater just to show that I'd been to Lusinger. Lusinger was a great school to go to. We enjoyed our time there, and we learned a lot.
Going to the football games was a lot of fun, and it was a good school.
The best times were just being there, just being there at that awesome school.
The event is going really great. We got a lot of people out today finding out about the history of Lawndale, the wonderful history here in the city of Lawndale. We got a lot of different vendors. We got a library here. We got our quilt, society here, and we're just having a lot of fun here. We got a lot of good turnout here, so it's going very well.
I had 3 different high schools, but Lusinger was my favorite school.
If you'd like to find out more about the Lawndale Historical Society, you can visit them on the web at www.lawndalehistoricalsite.com. Well, we may never know the answer to the proverbial question, who let the dogs out? But we certainly know who let the dogs in. The City of Lawndale has let the dogs into their brand new Lawndale Dog Park. City officials recently held a grand opening and ribbon-cutting ceremony to welcome our 4-legged friends.
We appreciate each one of you coming out today. to help us celebrate this opening of the Lawndale Animal Park. I mean, this is a great turnout and shows a lot of people are interested in their little four-legged friends.
It's a great day out here today. The weather's nice, dogs are having fun, kids, people. It's basically what I hoped it would be, where it's a place where people can socialize, they can gather, dogs can gather and do their business, and then the owners get to network and meet each other and become friends.
Dog park is not only for humans and to build community, but it's also for dogs to build community too. They get to socialize, interact with each other, and they all become better citizens, both humans and dogs.
We handed out flyers, and hopefully we have people using the dog park. It's got a water fountain for the dogs, so there's water there for them. There's plastic bags we're furnishing so they can clean up after their dog, and it's been going very, very well this morning.
We have a nice place available for Lawndale owners to bring their dogs. It's a big space so they can let their dogs off the leash and run. The dog park provides separate areas for small and big dogs, so that the dogs will feel comfortable playing with dogs of their own size.
It's a nice grand opening of this place, and it's nicely situated right in the middle of Lawndale, so easy for us to come nearby, walk over, and have the dogs socialize with other dogs.
You know, there are only a few handful of dog parks in the South Bay. There's one in Redondo Beach, it's full. One in El Segundo, it's pretty much full, and I'm glad that Lawndale's taken the lead in opening up yet another dog park.
We have gone to the dog park in Redondo Beach regularly, so it's really nice to get one a lot closer to home.
This will be the first opportunity for Lawndale residents to have a site where they can let their dogs legally off the leash.
The new Lawndale Dog Park is open Monday to Friday from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. or dusk, Saturday and Sunday from 7:30 a.m. until 8 p.m. or dusk, and holidays from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. We hope that all of our two-legged friends enjoy the park as well. And now let's take a look at some more great programs, services, and events with the Lawndale Living Community Calendar. Well, that about wraps it up for this edition of Lawndale Living. If you'd like to find out more about the new Lawndale Community Center or any of the great programs offered here at the city, give us a call at area code 310-973-3200 or visit the city's website at www.lawndalecity.org. And if you have an idea for an upcoming episode of Lawndale Living, or if you have any questions, you can give Lawndale Community Television a call at area code 310-973-3259 or visit us on the web at www.lawndalecity.org. I'm your host, Anita Callett-Berry. We'll see you next time.